Hey everyone, Sonya Highfield here. I want to talk today about ADHD and taking medication and how it does or doesn't impact my intuition. If you're not familiar with me, I do soul work, I do soul guidance via the Akashic Records. I really use my intuition a lot in my professional life. And I was diagnosed with ADHD just a few months ago, at the end of 2025, at the age of 36. And I was talking with someone recently, another spiritual entrepreneur, and saying how helpful it had been for me to get on medication. And she was like, "But does it impact your ability to be intuitive or channel or be creative?" And so I wanted to talk about that today. And this is just my experience, but I don't really see people talking about this. So I wanted to share in case it's helpful for you because I know a lot of us creatives out there are either self diagnosed or formally diagnosed. And yeah, the topic of whether or not to get on medication is certainly a big one, a personal one. And so for me, um, I decided to try a non-stimulant medication for ADHD and anxiety. Um, and I have found that it's made so much difference in my life and has really been an awesome addition to existing. Um, and I am definitely someone that's conscious of what I'm putting in my body. And, I had said to my therapist, I eventually want to be on something that's all natural, but I just want to try this. And I really, because I was lived 36 years without knowing that this was how my brain worked. And so I really just kind of wanted to get a sense of what my baseline was and see um, really how much my neurodivergence was impacting my life. Because I think it's really hard when you are diagnosed later in life and you think that all of these things that are actually ADHD are just you. And so it's really hard to know. And it's also very easy to gaslight yourself into being like, well, it's probably not that bad. Well, I probably just am lazy. Well, I probably just, you know, it's just easy to do that. Um, and so I decided to try some medication and see what happened. And yeah, very quickly, it made a big difference for me, especially around my executive functioning and actually being able to do tasks and take care of myself in the way that I want to. Um, and again, I kind of had no idea, actually, really where I was at, except for the fact that I knew that I struggled a lot with chores around the house, or there'd be a task on my to-do list for months and months. Um, and especially when it came to actually my self-care and my spiritual practices that I want to do for myself, I felt like last year especially, I really had a hard time getting myself to do the things that I wanted to do, the things that I knew were good for me. Um, and that's very frustrating when you're I know what to do, but I just can't get myself to do it. I'm just stuck doom scrolling and yeah, shaming yourself, right? Then for not taking the actions that seem easy, right? Or seem like I love to meditate. Why can't I just go over and meditate? Um, but we have real challenges. So I found that the medication has actually been super helpful for me in a number of ways, especially when it does come to again, intuition, because um, I'm able to take action on my intuitive ideas. I'm able to say oh, this is a great idea, and then go take the actions on it and actually see it through. And so even in the last few weeks, I was here are the things that I'm being called to do in 2026, set up in-person events and pitch more speaking. And I've been doing it. And yes, those are things that I've done before. But again, in terms of like taking the action, seeing it through, and like for multiple weeks now, taking the same kinds of actions is really kind of a miracle. And so, yeah, being able to like hear my intuition has not been impacted at all. And again, this is just my experience with the particular medication that I'm on. Um, I can hear my intuition perfectly fine, and I can channel through for other people as I've been doing for clients just fine. Um, and when it comes to like being creative, I'm not impacted in any way. And actually, I think it has been so helpful for like quieting the mind so that I can focus and actually create what I want to, like doing videos every week. Um, yeah, it's just been very helpful for me. And again, this is just my experience. I would love to hear your experience if you're in the same boat. Because again, I just haven't really seen anyone talk about this. And I think that it's a valid conversation to have, right? We want to be clear minded and, clear channels and be able to take care of ourselves, be able to exist in the world in a way that like feels good. Um, so yeah, that's been my experience. It's been very positive. My husband certainly has benefited from it because now I'm doing a lot more chores around the house. Um, but yeah, I think it really was like a act of self honoring to try this and to get help with it and to get the diagnosis, um, which I'll also give a shout out to the process I used, which was through a platform called Talkiatry. I'll put that in the notes as well, Talkiatry, because they took my insurance and it was like all online, telehealth, super easy to do, not tons of paperwork, not months of waiting for an appointment. Which again, like if you have ADHD, I've heard that the process of getting diagnosed can be very not friendly to your brain. And so this was very easy. Um, and I have a great doctor who I'm working with, and we do virtual appointments. And you don't have to get on medication if you go and just like want to get the diagnosis. That is helpful in itself. But I think kind of like bigger picture here is not being afraid to accommodate yourself. And that's something that I see a lot of entrepreneurs struggling with, small business owners struggling with, is accommodating themselves in life and business and feeling like you have permission to set up your life and business the way that actually works best for you first and foremost. And that's something that is very personal that someone else can't really tell you how to do. Like, yes, we can get suggestions and guidance and advice, but ultimately you have to know how your brain and body and business like function best and then take the steps to do that. And so getting support, getting what you need to actually function is so important. And I really do understand that it can feel like there's lots of roadblocks sometimes, whether kind of like mental roadblocks or financial roadblocks or, whatever it is. But please give yourself permission to be accommodated. Please give yourself permission to like work in a chair that feels good for your body, to set up your office with lights that, work for you. Set your work schedule if you're in control of your work schedule. Like set your hours in a way that work for you. Set up communications in a way that works for you. There's just so many instances in like our everyday lives where we're overextending ourselves or trying to fit into like a certain way of doing things, or again kind of like gaslighting ourselves into like we should just be able to do it this way. Like guess what, maybe you need to do it differently, and that is perfectly okay. So permission. I hope this helps someone. If you want to share your experience, please feel free. Again, not a doctor. Not playing one on YouTube. Just wanted to share this conversation and hopefully help some people. All right, I'll see you next time.